Right, good evening, and welcome to this very nice windy evening and my weekly 10 show, which tonight is called Who Chooses What You Think. So, before I go on, it's been a really busy week for me actually. There's loads actually going on right now. Which is quite exciting, really. I've just signed a publishing deal with a publisher to get my book published, and I'm going to be starting doing pre-sales for my book probably by March, early April, and the book itself is going to be coming out. I'm aiming for early December. All going well. Firstly, there's going to be the ebook, then there's going to be the print book, and then there's going to be the audio book, and they're going to come out one after the next. So that's in the pipeline. So if you're interested in buying my book, keep an eye out for that. One way you can do that and get a discount on the book is to subscribe to my mailing list, and you will receive a 20% discount on the book, and you get a signed copy. So that's something you should sign up for if you're interested in buying my book and reading my story, which I've spent a lot of time, and I'm still doing, writing. The end of this month I start a new podcast show. It's going to be a live show with guests, and it's going to be filmed in a studio, and it's going to be produced very professionally. It's going to look quality. Keep an eye out for that. That's coming out end of this month, and it's going to be a monthly show, half hour long, and it's going to be excellent. I'm really excited about that. So both of those things are in the pipeline and coming this way. I'm also working still with one-to-one clients, and I'm doing group coaching as well, but more so in the business sector. But if you're interested in finding out more about how I can help you, whether it's your business, or who you work for, or you just personally, get in touch with me. So when we think about who chooses how we think, you'd be forgiven for assuming that we choose how we think. However, there's a scientific report being conducted in, I'll tell you exactly the name, by Max Planck Institute for Human Cognitive and Brain Sciences in Leipzig. And the scientists there have proven that, contrary to what most of us would like to believe, decision making may actually be a process that's largely handled by our unconscious mental activity. So where we think we're thinking for ourselves, what that means is we're actually not always thinking for ourselves. We're actually thinking things that we've adopted over the years, beliefs, understandings, learnings. So this team of scientists unraveled the brain, and actually the unconscious mind prepares our decisions for us before we make any decisions. So even though you might think you're making a conscious choice in the moment, fully aware of what you're thinking, that's not always the case. That is possible when you're fully aware, but often when we're making a snap decision in the moment, it's actually preordained by our subconscious. And so even like seconds before we make a choice or a decision, the brain has already made a choice for you based on the past beliefs that you've developed, based on your past experiences, based on your learning, what you think about the world, your judgments. All of the things that we've learned over our lifetimes influence what we think, what we believe, and therefore when you're making a decision, it comes through those filters. So in layman's terms, that's basically everything that we think is coming through a filter of beliefs that we've developed. Well, maybe limiting beliefs, they might not be, but they're still beliefs. Judgments, your morals, your values, past experiences, stories that we've told ourselves, everything that we know, we've learned and understood since the minute we were born, we've developed in our minds, and that influences literally everything that you do. So you're not really ever making a conscious choice about anything. It's already sort of preordained by what's happened in your past at some stage. So what that does, it gives us a distorted view of reality. So when we're making a choice or a decision, we're only ever seeing it through the prism of what we believe to be true. That means that you're not taking into account different things that could be happening, different things that might be, perspectives that might influence how we choose to feel, choose to think and feel. So if you're making a decision based on something that you believe to be true, which isn't actually true, and you're not taking into account the things that possibly are going on, then guess what? You're not going to see the full picture. So we all adopt these through life. It's human nature to sort of, just adopt different beliefs, different ways of thinking throughout our lives. And it's also human nature for us to allow ourselves, let this live by our subconscious, be dictated by our subconscious mind. That's human nature. 90% of our lives we're living through our subconscious. So we're really ever truly thinking for ourselves. That's the fact. It's scientifically proven. And we generally respond from our subconscious, from our unconscious beliefs and everything else. So when we know that, it's actually, I don't know, it makes you wonder, what's real, what's not, etc. Because if you're making a choice, basically that belief that you've developed at some point in your life was thought about by somebody else. That experience that you went through was influenced by somebody or something or other things that have happened to you. So all of those influences come together to influence how you think. So it only gives you one perspective or a couple of perspectives of a certain situation. What it doesn't do is give you a full picture of a situation so that you can make a very informed, calculated judgment or view or decision or choice of any situation, which is fundamentally important, really, when you're making any sort of movement in life, when you're going forward. If you're trying to, if you really want to be in full control of your thinking and your life and how you feel, which is fundamentally important, then it's important to be consciously in control of what you're thinking. And the good news here is that it is possible to be able to make a conscious choice without these limitations, without the subconscious and all your beliefs, all your judgments, all your fears and everything else influencing what you're thinking, influencing what you're feeling, influencing what you're doing. So when we learn how to do that, you are able actually to remove those things consciously. And it's not easy. Otherwise, every single person on the planet would do it normally and naturally, and we wouldn't even know about this. There wouldn't even be scientific experiments or whatever, because it would just be normal. But it's not normal. It's normal to let our subconscious drive us and dictate for us. So it takes a huge amount of self-awareness to really do this, to be able to switch off judgment, to switch off your beliefs, to switch off anything that we think or have learned about anything in life, which might influence a decision or a choice that we're making right now. So that means it's switching off everything, past and present, and being clear, completely in the moment, with nothing at all influencing anything in your mind. So we might even be in our mind, grounded in the moment, but there'll be something in the back of your mind, in your subconscious, still influencing your belief, your actions, because that's what your beliefs are, your judgments. We all judge. So only when you look at it with a complete objectivity, remove any judgment whatsoever you have from your mindset, will you be able to see with true clarity and make an informed, clear choice. So this gives you the opportunity to choose a perspective then that aligns itself with how you want to feel, how you want to act, what you want to do. And then when you know how to choose that sort of that perspective or way of thinking that you know is going to generate the right feelings for you, it then increases your energy, it increases your productivity. Everything that you do in life is determined by how you think. How successful you are in life is determined by how you think. If you're stressed all the time, it's because you're thinking things that create that stress. So think about that in terms of productivity. If you really want to live a life which is full of productivity, which gives you total fulfillment, happiness, and all of those things, isn't it worthwhile understanding how you can create that by choosing perspectives that create the emotions which create the actions that lead to productivity, high performance, success, all of those things? That's what that gives you. It's fundamentally important if you really want to be the best version of yourself in life. So, instead of, choosing perspective or having perspectives which drain you and make you feel low and don't really move you forward with anything in life, you're constantly stuck in that cycle of draining your own energy and then wonder why you don't ever get successful. Well, you don't, because you're not thinking in the right terms. You're allowing the subconscious to dictate for you. And it's fundamentally important. This is why there's only a very, very small amount of people who are super successful in life, and I'm talking about success in monetary terms here. Success is measured in many different ways. But a lot of the reasons why that is because they've cracked it. They know how to tune into their own mind and utilize that in a way which works for them, and ultimately helps them create the life that they actually truly want. So mastering this process, it's called detached involvement. That's fundamentally what that means. Is you're fully engaged emotionally, you empathize with life situations still, that sort of thing, but you are able to detach from judgment and any sort of story or any sort of outcome, results, that sort of thing. Completely non-judgmental and completely detached and objective. So in that situation, you're a participant and an observer, seeing the world both objectively and subjectively. And when we learn how to do this, then you have the true power and potential, and only then can you choose what you really want to think to create the life that you really want to live. And it's fundamentally important you do if you really want to live life to your max. So, and the good news is I can help you do that. That's what I do as a living. I'm a coach. I help you. I teach you a philosophy and a way of being which embeds all this stuff and gets you to live it, breathe it, practice it, and become it. So get in touch with me if you're interested in finding out more, and I will talk to you next week. Have a great week. Bye.